Hello, hello. Just wanted to watch this without a lot of distractions and get more familiar with the case. Um, Gonna have up a lot of links. Be stopping the video from time to time, and commenting, but shouldn't waste no more time and get on with the show. Here, y'all.
Where is Sebastian? Welcome. We're going to talk about it. Where are you at, everybody? We've got Tennessee in the house. Upstate New York. Let's bring Sebastian home. Seth will be here tonight. In a moment, we're going to bring him in. Tell us where you're at. Oregon, Florida, Wisconsin, Sweden, Texas, South Michigan, North Carolina, Florida. The mob crew is in the house. Great to see you guys. Great YouTube channel. Get over there and subscribe. Arkansas, Wales, Philly, Whidbey Island. Great place by Deception's Pass. Love that part of the country. The UK, across the pond. Thank you so much for being here with us. So grateful. Arkansas is in the house. Scotland, my people. Seth, how you doing, buddy?
As well as can be, I guess.
Well, it's great to have you on the program this evening. And how have you been holding up?
Just trying not to fall apart.
Yeah. So tell everybody about your YouTube channel, and we're going to get into, where things stand in the nitty gritty tonight. I'm so grateful that you've carved out the time to trust me and trust our audience with your story here.
I appreciate everything you do to help bring enlightenment for my innocent child, Sebastian. I do have a YouTube channel. I share pretty much Sebastian's missing poster and other missing children's. And lately I've been doing question and answers on Fridays about Sebastian, about anything that people want to ask that I know proper information for and
Okay.
People to speak about.
So keep me on the right track tonight as we go through Sebastian's case here. Sebastian Wayne Rogers, then 15, vanished overnight, February 25th through the 26th, 2024, from his mother's Katie Proudfoot's home, who's Seth's ex-wife. And in that home, living there as well, was his stepfather named Chris Proudfoot. And they lived in Henderson, Sumner County, Tennessee, where do they still currently reside there?
I believe so, sir.
Okay. He was last confirmed to have been seen on the evening of the 25th after a, quote, normal day, according to his mother, shopping, bowling, video games. They had dinner, etc. And then the mother heard a loud bang come from his room around 10 p.m. She asked if everything was fine. Sebastian responded he was. And on the morning of the 26th, when she allegedly woke up after a nap, walked in to his bedroom, and Seth's 15-year-old son vanished out of the home. And at that time, he was 15. Today, he would be 17. He's missing approximately 2.5 years now. And here's the kicker, everybody, that we're going to talk about tonight. 15-year-olds don't vanish.
Hey, truth.
They
Good to see
do
you.
not vanish. And in this case, the key details are that he left his shoes behind, his cell phone, money, extra clothes, and of course, most importantly, food and medications that he needs to sustain his lifestyle and his condition of being on the autistic scale. His phone and cash remained on the dining room table when authorities arrived looking for him. There was potentially, though, one alleged missing item, and that was a small yellow flashlight. There was no signs of forced entry that have ever been reported publicly. Security cameras in the home reportedly were not working that night, and that's kind of weird because his mom actually works for a security company. His profile, Sebastian's profile. He is 5'5". At the time, he was 110 pounds to 120. Blonde hair, blonde and brown hair, brown and hazel eyes. He was last reportedly wearing a black sweatshirt and pants, black squared frame glasses, and he was born December 7th, 2008. He has been diagnosed having autistic spectrum disorder. He's high functioning, which may affect communication and responses to stress. That is severely combined with a type of ADHD, which is called 6q27 chromosome deletion syndrome. This is a rare genetic condition linked to intellectual disabilities and developmental delays. Law enforcement has noted that these conditions may impair his ability to return home safely without some type of assistance. That, my friends, is our young man, Sebastian. With us tonight is his biological father, Seth. And Seth has been searching for his son diligently for approximately the full length of those 2.5 years. Unfortunately, his stepfather, nor his biological mother, has put in that amount of time. As a result of that, the current case status remains active. However, per the authorities, they are not working active tips currently that anybody is aware of. And how do we know that? Well, number one, there's a lawsuit that's been filed. And in that lawsuit, Seth, who's the biological father of Sebastian, has not been speaking with the authorities because they haven't spoken to him. They haven't called him. They haven't updated him. In fact, if they were to find his child tomorrow, or if Seth were to find his child tomorrow, if Seth were to find him first, the authorities would have no idea unless he called them. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of this channel, we have a problem. And you guys know how I am on this channel. I am a straight shooter. I don't beat around the bush. When law enforcement does it right, I'm the first one to tell you they did it right. However, sometimes we get it wrong. And I want to find out tonight if this is one of those times where things are going wrong. So, Seth, thank you so much for being here tonight. And it's been nearly 2.5 years, bud. Can you walk us through
900 days?
Can you walk us through a typical day now of what that looks like for you searching for Sebastian?
Well, if I'm not home, then I'm going through tips. I'm going through any emails that I get. I'm on the phone with my PI. I'm on the phone with the FBI, or I'm calling and leaving messages. These days, it also includes my attorney. If I am following a tip, then I'm on the road. There are days that I just jump in my truck and I can't stay at home. So I will literally go out and, just hand out flyers.
You have a private investigator, you said.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell us about that individuals, or if you want to share that information. How's that cooking?
She pretty much stays off of social media. She's not really into that. She's old school PI.
Okay.
And every time we do get any tips or anything in there, she literally will go through them, composite an email and send it to my FBI liaison. And so
Hey, everybody, and welcome in. I'm just watching this interview, full interview for the first time. So just really trying to concentrate. Want to try to bring a little awareness if I can on a small channel, but you see the link up there. It's a printable link that you can go to and print out flyers and help pass those out. But thank you for being here, and let's continue.
they can turn around and do that and do their job. And we continue putting out flyers so we can continue to get tips.
Now, let's walk back to the day he went missing. Let's talk about what you were doing and when you got the call, how this entire situation unfolded for the audience that may not be familiar with your son's case. Walk everybody through what that day was like and what was going on.
I worked a 12-hour shift, got off at 7 o'clock in the morning, got to my truck about 7:20, found a text message from the stepfather saying 911. I called, he informed me that Sebastian was missing.
Okay, and
left from there and immediately headed to their house.
So you were notified by Sebastian's stepdad.
Correct.
And where were you working at the time?
I was at, we call it DDC. It's the Downtown Detention Center in Nashville.
Okay, so you were a corrections officer at the time.
I'm a deputy sheriff. I just work in the corrections department. Yeah, I was in jail, maximum security, from probably about 6:50 till my relief showed up so I could get out of there at 7.
And are you on video working?
Yes, sir.
So you're at work, and what time did you go to work that day?
I was probably in the garage around 6 o'clock. I live in Clarksville and I work in Nashville, and traffic on 24, you got to plan on that. So normally I'm leaving my house at, 4:30, 5 o'clock at the latest, so that I can make it there in case there's any accidents or traffic.
Okay, so simultaneously while you're going into work, it's been reported that your son is with your ex-wife, correct?
With his mother, yes.
With his mother. Okay. And they're out to dinner and just doing things while you're headed into the jail downtown.
I'm going to work. Yeah. It's I don't have Sebastian on that weekend, and on our schedule was I have Sebastian every other weekend. Well, that was the weekend that I didn't have him, so I'm at work. Because
Okay. So the night of from allegedly 10 o'clock, that was the last time it's been reported that Sebastian was heard, his voice, according to the mom, his mother. There was a bang in his room. Walk us through that circumstance.
that's what she stated. I mean, she said that there was I thought it was a thump, but in the room, and from my understanding, she hollered out to him, but didn't physically get up and go check on him.
Okay. And did he respond to mom?
That's what she said. She has stated that he responded.
Okay. And at 10 p.m., where were you?
I was at work.
At work. And the authorities have that video of you at work.
I'm pretty sure they do.
All right. You would hope they did, right?
I would hope that they did their due diligence and followed procedure.
Okay. And so you're at work. Sebastian's with his biological mother. Where's the stepdad? Do you know?
Nope. From
Okay.
my understanding, from what I've been told, he was in Mississippi
In Mississippi.
at the trailer park.
At a trailer park in Mississippi. What was he doing over there?
Supposedly he was working at the St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis.
Okay. What does he do?
He's a heavy crane operator. Crane operator of some sort.
So he's in Mississippi, allegedly. You're in the jail working on video. Mom's home with your son. So reportedly, she is the last person to be with your son. Would that be accurate?
That is correct.
Okay. So she's the last one at the house. And what time do you get the text message in the morning?
The message was sent to my phone at like 6:20, but I didn't get it till an hour later when I got off of work.
Okay, so about 07:20 in the morning.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have cell phones in the jail. I mean,
That makes sense.
that's a felony.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I work there. I don't want to stay there.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So you see the text at 07:20 that came in about 6:20 in the morning. And it comes in from the stepfather.
Correct.
And where was he when he sent that text?
I figure he was in Mississippi.
Okay. And how was he notified that Sebastian was missing?
Sebastian's mom.
So she calls him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he texts you,
Mm-hmm.
and you go over to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your visiting agreements and all of the stuff that when you guys had separated, and who gets Sebastian and what day, what times, and shared custody.
It was pretty much joint physical, joint legal custody. We had come that Sebastian would stay with her because at this point in time I was homeless living in my car in California, and that I would have him every other weekend. And as I've got a place to live, we just kept it like that. If you wanted to, we weren't that far apart. I mean, it was like maybe 2 miles. So if Sebastian wanted to come over and use the pool, I don't have a problem coming to get him. Right? It was it was supposed to be for both of, for Sebastian's benefit. Then we moved here, and they moved here 4 months after they moved here. I arrived here in Tennessee and started renting where I currently live. And COVID was going on. So if there was an issue at their house, I would get a phone call. They got COVID a couple times. I came and picked up Sebastian. They were doing online school, so he could be here and go to school online through the laptop. And thought everything was going good. I mean,
And when you say they got here, where were they living previous to Tennessee?
California. Yeah.
Is that the San Diego area?
Yeah. Spring Valley, El Cajon. Been to Oceanside a few times.
Yeah, El Cajon is what we used to call it. Right? El Cajon. Yeah, Oceanside, where the debris meets the sea, back in the day. Okay, so was he in the Navy if I remember right?
Yeah, he was in the Navy.
And did he, when did he get out of the Navy? And was Sebastian living with them at the time?
I do not know. I don't know when he got out of the Navy.
Okay.
I don't know anything about really his past at all.
Okay. All right. So you get over there at about what time do you arrive at the house?
About 8:20. Took me about an hour to get from DDC to their house.
So about 08:20 in the morning, you're on the scene. And what do you see? What's going on?
I see a lot of police officers walking around, and I see people pulling drones out of the back of their truck and replacing batteries. And there's dog people there.
Okay. And who contacts you, or who do you contact first?
I just walk in the house.
So you just walked into the home.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And who was in the home?
There was some law enforcement, and Katie was there, and then there was other individuals there.
Okay. Then what happened?
I walked into Sebastian's room to see what it was looking like, and then introduced myself to people.
Did you make any phone calls to anybody on the way over, or did you just get the text message and shoot on the way over?
Got the text message, made the phone call, found out, got out of the garage, and headed straight there.
What did you find out on the phone call? I'm sorry, I should have asked you that.
He just told me that Sebastian was missing, and the cops and everybody was at the house. And don't be angry.
That what?
Don't be angry. He told me not to be angry.
He told you not to be angry.
Yeah.
Okay. And
but my son's missing, so
how'd that make you feel?
Like I said, my son's missing. I'm not angry. I'm panicking. I'm where's my son?
Was he angry?
No.
What was your gut?
He was just reading some information to me. There was no emotion when he talked.
So you get a phone or you make a phone call back after you get the text message. Where was he at that time?
From my understanding, he was at St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis.
In Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Still. And Memphis to Nashville is what, 3 hours?
I have no idea, because I never really going there wasn't, times that I've been there is after Sebastian missing. And from what he has stated, it's 3 hours and 37 minutes, doorstep to doorstep, which whatever. You can never, traffic is always horrible. So you can never judge distance time-wise by traffic because of traffic.
Okay. So you're there now at about 08:20. You go into the house. Do you talk to Katie, or do you just go right into his bedroom?
I walk in. Katie As soon as I came around the corner, Katie saw me and she shoved her phone in my face with a picture of Sebastian, I guess at BJ's. And she was like, we were having a good day. See, he was happy.
And that's all she said?
Yeah.
How did that strike you?
Well, why would my son need to be? Why are you telling me he was happy?
What was your feeling when she did that to you? Did you believe her?
No, but she's my ex. I mean, I know. I don't believe a lot that comes out of her.
And I mean, sometimes obviously relationships are,
I'm kind of biased.
well, yeah, I mean, their relationships are relationships, right? And some, humans are human. But in this situation, how was she reacting to the fact that you're there now? He's missing.
It
Her
almost
husband.
felt like
Go ahead.
she wanted me to understand that he was happy, so he had no reason to leave. So I wouldn't like be mad at her.
Okay. Was it her impression that he left?
She's the one that was saying he walked out that door.
All right. So
She had
you go
already, she had already reported him as a runaway.
that morning.
Yeah, when she called him up.
Have you heard any of the 911 calls?
No.
Don't know if I was muted or not. I was saying hello, everybody. I'm really here. Didn't know that she had reported him as a runaway that morning. That's very interesting. Sorry about the background noise. It's the weekend, trying to get some things done. Let's continue on with the interview room. Chris McDonough with Sebastian's dad, Seth. The link up on the screen is the official FBI link. Print out flyers, pass them out where you live and wherever you go. Thank you.
Have you heard any of the non-emergency call
I've heard
about?
the dispatch call.
And tell me about that.
They were looking for Sebastian. They were thinking that he had just ran away from the house and that he would be seen in the neighborhood.
Okay. And what kind of job does she do?
She installs cameras and security cameras and stuff for businesses and residential, from my understanding.
And did she have a security system in the home?
I had been told before that they had a camera in the kitchen. That's what Chris had told me. I know that there was an ADT sign outside, but I don't pay attention to cameras. I'm around
Sure.
cameras all the time. I mean, and obviously I'm not up to no good, so I really don't pay attention to cameras.
Got it. No question. No problem.
Big Brother's always watching us from somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, welcome to the 21st century, right? Right.
No flying cars, but we got eyes everywhere. But I can't find my son.
Pretty soon we'll all be the Jetsons. There won't be a question about that one day. But
then we'll be the Flintstones again.
Yeah, I know, right? So she works for a security company that installs security systems.
Correct.
Have you, at the time that day, and since that time, do you know now, 2.5 years later, if they had a security system operational in their home?
I do know that shortly after Sebastian went missing, that they upgraded their system.
So they upgraded it after he went missing.
Mm-hmm. Now that means you don't. There's a different. To me, verbiage is everything. There's a difference between install a system and upgrade a system. And Chris has stated that they upgraded their system, which means, to me, they just better cameras, maybe microphones, speakers. I don't know. I don't install security systems.
So she shows you a picture of him in his pajamas. Did she say anything?
He was in regular everyday clothes.
Regular everyday clothes. So she had a
They were
photo.
at BJ's.
I'm sorry?
They were at BJ's, which is like a Sam's Club.
Yeah. So she took a picture of him at a
table
at a big box store.
Yeah.
She say why she needed to take that picture at a big box store?
No.
Whenever you took him to like BJ's or Costco or anything like that, do you photograph him?
No.
But for some reason she had that photograph. Did she say when it was taken?
Well, from her, what she was implying, look, I have a picture. He was happy. She was implying that she had just taken it before he went missing, which to me, I meant it would have been Sunday, but from what I understand now was Saturday, supposedly.
Okay. So she has a photograph of him at a big box store, and that is a proof of life that he was happy.
Yeah.
So that's the last proof of anything about his state of mind and potentially the clothing that he was wearing
At that time. Now
at
that time. There's the Texas Roadhouse, which law enforcement did show me him leaving the building and getting in her vehicle, which that was Sunday. And I have video and pictures from the bowling alley, which was prior to them going to Texas Roadhouse, that the owner of the bowling alley gave me.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen all of that, and but I'm curious as to what your reaction was when you saw the picture of him at BJ's. And so at that point, you go into his bedroom. What drove you into his bedroom right away?
It's the last place he was supposedly at. This was before the proof of life from Texas Roadhouse, and it's where Katie said he was at. So I walked in there.
All right. And what did you see?
The room was messed up, but what kind of caught me off guard was, the phone's plugged in the kitchen. The PlayStation 4 is sitting on the dresser, but there's no TV for him to use it, and his switch is plugged in at the wall.
So what was your impression?
Why would knowing that my son isn't allowed to have his phone in his room at their house, why would she allow the switch? That kind of caught me off guard. I mean, at my house, yeah, Sebastian's TV, his switch, plug in for his phone, plug in for the tablet, if he ever, all that's in his room. It's his responsibility if he wants to keep it charged so he can play it or not. But she always, he's not allowed to have electronics. He's grounded. They took the TV out. Why is the switch in there? If he was grounded from electronics and stuff, why can't have his phone plugged in where he can hear it if it rings or whatnot, but he can. It just caught me off guard.
Well, walk me through when you would go pick him up on your days of visitation and you guys get to hang out. Tell me about how that routine takes place.
I have him on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on my weekend. So that means I'd get off of work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd go home, take a shower, try to get some sleep, and then I would drive back. Sebastian would get off the bus at 3 o'clock, and I'd be waiting in the driveway. Sebastian would go in, do whatever chores his mom wanted him to do. Before then, he would come out, jump in the truck, and we'd head to Clarksville. You know, if he was hungry, we'd stop and get something to eat beforehand, unless he wanted, depending on what he wanted. If he wanted chicken fillet, that's extra 11. If he wanted to sit down and eat, then we figure out what we're going to do then. You know, it also depend on if there was any tournaments or anything going on with Magic. You know, if we had a D&D session about to happen, you know, if we were going to go fishing.
What is Magic?
Magic the Gathering. It's a CCG, it's a collectible card game, kind of like Pokemon, but it came out before Pokemon.
Okay,
came out in 97.
So you'd be out waiting for the bus to arrive. The bus would arrive. He'd get off the bus, and would you greet each other?
Well, he'd see me, I'd wave, but you know, his first thing is to go in to the house, put his backpack up, unless he's got homework, and take care of his chores. Because the sooner he's done feeding and watering and changing, you know, the dog pee pads or whatever, and whatever else his mom wanted him to do, the sooner we can get out of there.
Whenever you would pull up before the bus would arrive, would you have any interaction with your ex?
Most times she wasn't there. She was at work.
All right. Typically the days you would go pick him up, he would go into the home by himself.
Yeah.
And what would he come out with?
If he had homework, he'd come out with his backpack, and he'd come out with his cell phone.
All right. And anything else? Any other items?
Sometimes he'd have some Legos in his pocket or something.
Okay. So you're a Lego dad, huh?
He's a Lego kid, and I buy him Legos all the time. To me, they're small little miniature puzzles. So it's like, you know, I like to buy the individual ones for him, you know, and then he could put one together, or I can help him put one together. It's just something for us to do. And then we put them up on a shelf and let him collect dust.
That's cool. What, you say he has maybe some chores and stuff. Was he on routines? I
mean, I guess when he gets off the bus, he's got things he's got to do before his mom gets home.
Okay. Would the stepdad be home at any time, and would you see him
every once in a while?
And what were those interactions like?
Hi, how you doing? Cordial. I mean, as long as my son is being taken care of and being treated, and I don't have a problem with anybody. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that was going on until afterwards.
Okay, and we'll get into that. We'll head to that. So his routine then, would he have left his cell phone?
No, he would. There's been times that he's gotten to the truck and was like, "Do you have your cell phone?" And he was like, "Yeah, I do." And then he doesn't. And then he has to go in and find it. And it's like, you got to have your cell phone.
You would remind you.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have your cell phone, because if your mom's trying to get a hold of you, she's not going to call me. She's going to call your cell phone.
Okay. Had there ever been a time where he had forgotten his cell phone?
No.
All right. Was there ever a time where you would get a phone call from, I guess I'll call her Katie, and
Katie.
She would, huh?
I said that's her name, Katie.
Okay. And was there ever a time where Katie would call you to tell you certain things about him?
She'd call me and let me know what was going on with school, doctor's appointments, things like that. Or I'd get a text message. Most of the time it was a text message.
And how were those interactions?
brief.
Okay. Were you ever asked to intervene in terms like rides to the doctor or
Oh yeah, it's Sebastian.
school?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I work night shift. She works during the day, I work during the night. So if there's a doctor's appointment, I'll take him.
All right. Yeah. Now walk me through the type of does he need medications?
She has him on medications. Um, she had him on a medication to help him sleep. She had him on a medication to help him focus in school. And most of the time when they give you those, they also give you, you know, other medication because of the side effects from other medications.
All right.
If you're just joining us, or you're watching back on replay, what you see on the screen is a link that'll take you to a flyer that you can send over to your local Staples store, UPS store, and you can print out these flyers and you can pass them out and help Seth try to locate his son. It would be a great help. I know he would appreciate that help. So yeah, and I also put the link right there in the chat. So you can just click on that link, go ahead and download it. And then, like I said, it's a printable flyer, official FBI flyer. So if you don't mind, can you get those printed out and get them passed out? Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Do you know if he took medication the night he allegedly walked out of the house?
I don't.
Has anybody asked that question?
I have.
And what answer did you get?
My question was, did you look at his medicine and count it?
And
the detective was like, why would I do that?
so you asked the question and the response was, why would I do that? Okay.
Yes.
And so that's a sleeping medication. And then it sounds like he has the other side of that, because one is a depressant, obviously, but meaning not for depression, but it makes you sleepy, and that's would be a classification. And
He's
the
got
other
it.
one,
He's
would
got
be a
one to help
stimulant.
him sleep at night, and the other one is so he can focus while he's at school.
Right. So that would be a stimulant of some sort. So they called that the synergistic effect. One pulls you up, one pulls you
Balance.
down.
You
Right.
know, it's and any person with ADHD or autism functioning wise, we know what that is. I remember as a kid being on one and then the other one.
Okay. Have the authorities checked the with the pharmacies to see if any of those medications have been filled since he's been missing?
Do not know. I do know that I used his insurance information and contacted them to see if anything had been processed, and that was no. Nothing's been processed under his name and insurance. So if he's getting any of his medications wherever he's at, it's either going to be facility issued or somebody's paying for it without using insurance, or he's not on it.
So when you say facility issue, we'll get to that in a bit here, because there's a possibility you believe that if he is alive, he could be in a medical facility of some sort.
I believe he's alive. I just got to find out where he's at. It could be in a facility. It could be in a boys' home. It could be walking on the streets, not knowing, what's going on, just lost.
So in one of your thought processes then, and keep me straight here, is that if he voluntarily walked out of that house, somehow, some way, an authority of sort put him into a facility.
I mean, state agency didn't bother to call me, dude. I mean,
Okay.
literally. So Anything's possible.
No, I
Anything's
understand.
possible because I've seen some of the impossibilities, things that shouldn't have happened through procedures and protocols happen on this.
Right, but we have an 8-hour window here.
Mm-hmm.
And in that 8 hours, I don't think anybody is working to come over to the house and say, okay, you're coming with us.
I
Or,
mean,
or at 3 o'clock in the morning, the law enforcement, if they would have run into him, would have obviously made a phone call to next of kin and said, hey, we have your son here. He's on the, whatever. We're going to take him into protective custody right now. Because they would have had to been notified, Chris and Katie, right away. And then, of course, you being the biological father, and if you have
I hope
joint
they
custody,
notify me if they find my son.
well,
I mean,
no. But what I mean by that, Seth, is obviously they still have to find, or they have to follow that protocol, and if they don't follow that protocol, then they're breaking the law, and that's a no-brainer. So which goes back to, this is on the pretense or the pretext that he voluntarily walks out of the house. That's one theory.
correct.
Okay. And within that theory, your belief system is it possible he could have been picked up by somebody, or, by an authority of some sort, because somebody in authority would have had to have the ability to say, okay, I am custodial guardian over this child who is in, the mental capacity that he is in. So
Right.
therefore, I'm going to tell you, this young man is going to go in this facility and we're going to keep it quiet. It has to be somebody in authority, and typically it has to be a court order type of authority situation, unless it's a violent situation where, the biological parents, and you being one of them, you would have to make that decision as a legal custodial guardian. The cops can't make that decision, nor can Child Protective Service. CPS can't make that decision either. There has to be a whole workup from the court that says, okay, go get that kid. And the state's going to take custody of that child, and we're going to start making decisions for that child.
Correct.
Which leads now into theory number 2. All right, that's theory number 1, where you believe, you're hoping, you're praying, and I'm praying with you either way. If that's your belief system, and then I'm sticking with your concepts. But belief system number 2 now would be, you go in the room, his switch is there, but his TV's not. To your point, what good is the switch if there's no TV to watch it on?
Well, the Switch is a handheld gaming device.
Okay, so it's a handheld one.
Right. The PlayStation 4 that's on the dresser, there's no TV next to it. That's why they left it there. I mean, Chris, he told me, he was like, I took the TV and I put it in my camper. And Chris was gone already. So they left the PlayStation there because he didn't have a TV to play on it.
Okay, so where's that TV now?
I don't know. I know Chris said that he took it from there and put it in his RV.
All right. And
so it was in his RV, which meant that the TV would be in Mississippi with Chris.
So any reason why he took it out of
Sebastian got in trouble.
I'm sorry?
Chris told me Sebastian got in trouble, so he took the TV from him.
Okay, so his punishment was, I'm taking the TV and putting it in the camper, and he took the camper to Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. For work.
How long before this occurred did that happen?
At least a month.
So about a month earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see your son in between that or during that month?
Mm-hmm. I did.
And did he mention it?
No.
He didn't say anything about it.
Didn't say anything about it. But
Did he? Go ahead.
he's coming home. He's coming here. And it's like I've already. His mom didn't want him bringing the Switch to my house. You can have the Switch when you're at their house, because she didn't want it to get broke or damaged or anything else. So I turned around and went and bought Sebastian a Switch at my house. And he's got a PlayStation 3 and a TV already in his room. So when he's coming here, anything that he doesn't get to do there, he's going to get to do here. The only electronic he has to bring from their house is his phone.
Okay, so walk me through why that's important to him.
He likes to game. I mean, he enjoys gaming. He likes playing video games. He can sit there until the batteries die and then plug it in and still continue to play it. If it wasn't for sleep, and school, he likes playing video games and watching movies. When he's here at the house, he would literally be in the living room sometimes, curled up in the recliner, playing on a Switch and watching, Netflix. Normally some Batman animation or Spider-Man, he's watching cartoons and playing video games.
He strikes me as a very sweet, innocent young man. Am I off base there?
No.
And it looks like he has a very soft heart towards animals.
He loves animals.
Now, walk us through that. Tell us a little bit about Sebastian and his love of animals.
When we lived in California, we had a bearded dragon by the name of Goose.
That's like a iguana, right?
Smaller version, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lizard, but it's a bearded dragon. And we would literally sit there after we rescued it. It had calcium deficiencies and stuff like that. So we got it in a new cage. We sat there and we're feeding it crickets. We have to, mix everything together. I mean, we rescued it and it was about yay long. And I would say 6 months later, it was.
Just a quick pause, guys. I'm going to explain a couple of links that I'm sharing here along the way. 4 in particular. Told you about the printable flyer, which is this one here, official from the FBI. This is Sebastian's Law. You can use that link right there and go read about Sebastian's Law. His dad, Seth is trying to get into effect. I'm not going to try to explain it myself. I'll let you go read about it yourself. Or Seth can tell you more about it. And this is his channel link right there. Seth Rogers. And this is an interview with Chris McDonough from the interview room. If you don't know Chris and Karen McDonough, or if you're not following them, I highly suggest you go over there and give them a like, follow, turn the notification bell on. Got great content over there. They're really great people. You can find out more about them at their channel. And as you can see along the bottom, you can follow them on the different platforms there. So thank you so much. And we will carry on with the interview.
It was from my arm to about here, from my finger to here. I mean, it got big. But it would sit there literally on his shoulder or my shoulder while we're on the couch watching TV or playing video games. I mean, I let Goose run around the house during the day. And he would climb up on the couch and watch TV if nobody was watching it. You know, Sebastian has always loved animals. He loves cats. He likes dogs. He got bit in the face by a dog, 7 stitches, and still not scared of. Like literally got out of the emergency room and went back in and wanted to go right back for the dog to give the dog a hug because he already forgave the dog.
Tell me about these puppies here.
Those are Morkies. I believe they are Katie's. Those are the dogs that were living there when Sebastian went missing.
Okay. And what about the, looks like a snake?
The python, that was that I believe if I remember correctly, I think that's his snake that was Brownie that he was raising.
Okay. And where were these photographs taken? Do you know?
Well, the top, if you go scroll all the way to the top, I can tell you. That one's from school, the top one. The second one is in Chris and Katie's house. That's them in the living room in front of the grandfather clock. That one right there was taken in their kitchen. That one right there, I'd say, was taken in Katie's vehicle. That one right there was taken in their house. And that one right there was taken when he needed a new pair of glasses. And Katie was sending me pictures because he wanted my opinion on the glasses.
What was your opinion?
They made it that they're bigger than his face. But if he likes them, then he can wear them. I mean,
that's a cute kid right there, man. Good for you. Good for you. So you're at the house, you're in the bedroom. Things are they clicking for you, or are you getting any feelings either way?
I don't like the situation. I don't like it. I didn't like what I saw. I mean, the fact is, I walked in and it was nobody was on the same page. I shouldn't have been able to actually come even into the front yard without somebody stopping to ask my identification first. And I stopped and talked to the dog people first. And they didn't even ask me who I was. I walked up, I was like, hey, you know, are your dogs tracking dogs? Are they going off of scent? You know, what is your dog's purpose? I was picking up information.
So you pulled up and the authorities are there at that time.
Yeah, they're everywhere in the house. They're nowhere in there. I think there might have been one in the front except for the dog person, but there was nobody. There nothing was cordoned off. They weren't stopping anybody from just walking in. Neighbors and stuff were coming in and out, bringing food.
But when you say bringing food, what do you mean?
Their neighbors were cooking food because Sebastian was missing, and they didn't want here. You know, you don't need to be cooking anything. We brought you something.
Oh, okay. So, but right when you get there, are the neighbors there too, or is just the law enforcement authorities and the
Law
canine?
enforcement. There was a couple other people in Katie.
Okay. Where's Katie?
Katie was when I saw Katie, she was standing next to the wall showing me her picture. And then afterwards, she went and sat down on the couch. She pretty much stayed on the couch, or she was sitting in the dining room table.
And what was her reaction, in your opinion?
She was just crying.
She's what?
Crying.
Okay. How did that strike you?
I'm a guy. I'm wanting to find my son. So I didn't stay there very long. I turned around, assessed the situation, and walked out to go to the command center and get more information. Because they were already setting up the command center, and I was driving around looking for my son.
Did anybody approach you at any time and say, "Who are you"?
One of the law enforcement agents, I told him who I was.
And then what happened?
They advised us to stay at the house, and I pretty much told them where they could. My son's missing. I'm going to go look for my son.
Where were you going to go?
Drive around. They told, when I told them I was going to go look for my son, they were, if you're not going to listen to us, then if you're going to drive around, stay in your vehicle, stay on the roads, and don't go walking through the woods. Well, I don't know the area, so I'm not going to go walking through the woods unless I got people with me. So I drove around on every road with my screaming Sebastian's name, screaming into the woods, waiting to see if I could hear anything back. I mean, driving every 20 or 30 feet and then stopping and, seeing if I hear anybody, scream and hollering for Sebastian.
Did you take anybody with you?
I don't have anybody to take with me.
Okay.
I mean, my son is the person that rides with me in my truck.
Sure. Did Katie want to go?
No,
Did you ask?
no.
Okay.
I'm
And how long do you think you drove around?
I was on and off again, driving around, then going back to the house to see if there was any information. So I would drive around for an hour, hour and a half, and then I would drive back to the house to see if there was anything, any new information, and then I'd go to the command center and find out if there was any more information. And that's pretty much what I did for 8 days.
Okay. And during that,
I would leave Hendersonville at like 11 o'clock at night, drive home to Clarksville, get up at 3, and drive back down.
with missing children, you have a 3-hour window. Statistically.
Right.
And so you're already behind the 8 ball by about 5 hours.
At the bare minimum.
Right. At the bare minimum. Providing, historically, the story is, partially true.
Providing accurate information, yes.
Right. And so you're looking now, and you come back, and I just want to stay on the first day. I don't want to get into any of the other stuff yet.
I came back to the house probably 3 or 4 times.
Right. And what was the vibe going on there within you, within the authority, from what you could tell from the authorities, and within Katie?
As the day proceeded, I mean, everybody pretty much, all the law enforcement people pretty much emptied out of the house. There was one guy sitting at the dining room table. Katie was pretty much on the couch, rocking back and forth, crying. And then, I mean, because I left there at, I want to say, I left there at like 1:30, 2 o'clock was when law enforcement asked me to drive home, and they wanted to follow me to my house here in Clarksville. And they wanted to know the route that I would take to get home. So I told them we just really kind of depends on traffic and Google, and if we have anything planned. I would either take 24 if traffic, or I'd go down 41 and take 41 and come out on exit 1 in Clarksville through Kentucky. And there's multiple different back roads through there too. And I told them those, and I was like, these are the routes we take. And right now it's 24. So, I'm going to take 24 to get to the house. And I took that route, jumped on 24, went down Long Hollow Pike, and then went down, I can't remember the name of this road today for some reason, until I got all the way down to make a right and take it to 24 and miss all the downtown traffic on the interstate, which is takes you to exit. I want to say it's want to say Hope Road, I think. I'm not too sure. I'd have to look at a map. But from there, I jump on the interstate and then head to Clarksville. And they followed me. We got here. They came in. They went through my house.
How many guys?
2.
Were they sheriffs, FBI, TBI?
Sheriffs.
All right. And then what happened?
They went through the house, and then by then I'd already called people, and they'd already and had my neighbors actually looking to see if Sebastian had came through or if they'd seen him, and they put a note on the door that for Sebastian, if you show up, call your dad now. I asked my neighbors to, if they saw Sebastian, just to call 911.
Okay. And what did the authorities ask you?
Pretty much they asked me where I was at work, and then they asked me, they asked me if they could look through my house. I was like, yeah, go ahead. House, closet, garage, wherever you need to look. I don't care. And after they did that, they left.
Did they ask you for your phone?
No.
At
Not
any
till the
time?
next day.
At any time had they asked you for your phone?
No, they didn't do that till the next day.
Okay, so the following day, you gave your phone.
Yeah. They
And
asked me if I gave it to them.
Did they download it?
Yeah, they had it for over 12 hours and downloaded everything off my phone.
Okay. And that'd probably be a Celebrite download, right?
A what?
Would it be? It would probably be a Celebrite download. That's the software that they use.
From my understanding, they use somebody. The tags on the stuff that I got back stated they used Vanderbilt University to download everything. So whatever program they used, I do know that they burnt the image into my screen on my phone and blew up my battery.
Yeah, they have Vanderbilt has a UFED up there. So everything gets downloaded from your phone. How about Katie's and Chris's?
Yeah, they took Katie's and Chris's the next day as well.
So everybody's phone got collected.
Correct.
Here's the big one. What about Sebastian's?
They took Sebastian's phone as well.
So his is downloaded as well.
Well, they have his phone.
Right. They still have it.
Yes.
Okay. It's
as far as I know, they still have it.
So it's sitting in evidence somewhere.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what do you do then that day that they came to your house? Everybody searched. The neighbors are aware. Then where do you go?
Well, I'm here, so I start cleaning up after they did their, investigation or look through my house. And after that, I laid down, got some sleep, woke up, headed back down there. I was exhausted.
Around what time was that?
I went to sleep that night, and then when I woke up, it was like 2:00 in the morning.
Okay. So about 2 a.m, and you head back towards the house, Katie's house?
Yeah, I head towards Hendersonville.
So by that time, have you communicated with your job? What's going on?
Yeah, I've already communicated with my job. I communicated with my job after when I got to my house. I turned around and contacted my sergeant and my captain, and then I contacted human resources as well.
So everybody in the chain of command is aware that your son's missing, and
Correct.
The sheriff's department knows by this time, I'm assuming, and keep me on the straight track, that you have notified your chain of command because you're, law enforcement, and everybody's good to go.
Yeah.
Would that be an accurate assessment?
In fact, I believe the next day, I believe that my boss was actually on TV doing an interview with somebody, telling them that, yeah, I work for the sheriff, that I'm one of his officers and everything else.
And that they have you on video in the jail around the time your son goes missing.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they were told because they never have actually told me what they told Sumner County.
Okay.
But I did have my attorney contact Davison for my timesheets and anything that they could use to make sure that I was there, to prove that I was at work and never left.
So your department basically is your alibi. Would that
Yeah,
be
I
accurate?
was that and probably 50 so cameras.
Okay. That's a lot of cameras.
Well, I mean, they got a lot of cameras that, I mean, there's cameras. It's a electronic access to get into the garage to begin with, because the parking area is underneath part of the jail. So,
Okay.
I mean, you got to have access to get in. So they have my ID scan and then video camera footage of me coming in, and you're on camera everywhere except for the bathroom.
Okay. Have the authorities to this date, 2.5 years later, cleared you?
They have not come out and stated anybody's been cleared.
All right. But you weren't the last person with your son. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
All right. So let's go back to the house. You arrived 2 o'clock in the morning, first night.
No, I did not go there at 2 o'clock in the morning. At 2 o'clock in the morning, when I left here, I got there at about 3, and then
Okay.
I just drove around. I was not going to their house until again. No.
And what was the reason for not going towards the command center and stuff like that?
I didn't have a reason to go to the command center yet. I wanted to drive around and see if I could find my son.
Okay. So you're driving around looking for him still that evening. At what point do you get over back to the house?
I think I went over to their house maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Walk me through that.
Went there, asked, has anybody heard any information? Nobody's heard any information. I leave.
Who's there?
Um, at this point in time, it'd be Chris and Katie are there. Um,
Hey guys, say hello to everybody that's here. Hey, it's me. I need to shave. As y'all know, like I'm not monetized right now, but I do have a Cash App on the page. But I'm not asking for any donations. For anybody that's here or anybody that watches this on replay, in lieu of any donations, you see the link going across the screen right here. You can have flyers printed up at Staples, UPS store, that type of thing. Instead of donating any money to the channel or anything, in lieu of that, for this particular show, I would ask that you would have the flyers printed out, please. Pass them out where you live at, please. Help out in any way you can. I'm going to show you the link on the screen. That's for the flyers. This link is to go read about Sebastian's Law. This is his dad, Seth's page. Give him a follow. You want to keep up with the case better. Of course, he's going to have more information there, better information there. And then this is the interview room with Chris and Karen McDonough. This was the interview that they had with Seth. Just watching it on replay on my channel for the first time. Thanks everybody for being here. And once again, if you could just take this link right there, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, also have some flyers printed out and pass out as many as you can, far and wide as you can. Thank you so much.
Hey, stop just for a second. You come through the door.
oh no, this time I knock.
You knock on the door. What happens?
They open the door and let me in.
Who's they?
I think it was probably Chris.
What happens?
At this point in time, the second day is when they took our phones. So once they took our phones, you know, I have to deal with that too, because nobody knew they took my phone. So I actually had cops and stuff coming to my door here because people were calling for welfare checks on me and couldn't get a hold of me. But they took my phone, and 12 hours later, I was like, you guys need to give me my phone back. I've been without it for long enough. There's people I need to contact. My son is missing, and my mom and dad, my family, people that need to know that I'm okay, and they have no way of contacting me. While they were doing that, I was between the house and the command center and driving around looking for Sebastian.
Okay. So you're at the house. I want to take you back to the house for a moment. You knock on the door opens. Chris is there. What happens?
Not much. I mean, are you talking about
That's the first time you see him, right?
No, I saw him on day one when he showed up before I left to go back to my house.
Okay, I didn't know that. So let's back up.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Sebastian,
let's go back to the day before.
when Chris got there,
what time did he get there?
I want to say that he got there right before I left, and I want to say that we left at like 1:30, so he was there by the time we left.
Okay, so what's an approximate time? Because I want to make sure that I'm getting a timeline correct here.
I'd say about 1:30.
About 30. Okay, 1:30 in the afternoon?
Yes, sir.
All right, so about 1:30 in the afternoon, he shows up. What was he driving, if you remember?
His truck.
What kind of truck? If you know.
I don't. It's not my truck. I think it was a diesel, big old truck that would pull a fifth wheel. I mean, it was a big old truck.
Is he with anybody?
I didn't see anybody with him when he came into the door.
Where were you standing when he pulls up, if you remember?
I was in the house. I heard him pull up, and I walked to the door.
Did you let him in, or did he just walk in?
Oh, yeah, I'm the one that opened the door to let him in.
Okay. Did Katie tell you to do that, or you just were being respectful? I
was just being respectful. It's his house.
All right. And when he walked past you, did you guys say anything?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Stopped and asked me a couple questions.
What were they?
What are you going to do if this goes south?
What did he mean by that?
I don't know. Maybe you should ask him, because I know what that means.
I will, but
I mean,
but I'm asking you right now to make sure that I'm tracking this correctly.
To me, when you say, what are you going to do if this goes south? To me, he's talking about is Sebastian's not alive anymore.
Is that what you thought it meant?
Yeah.
And how did you answer it?
I left.
I
walked out of the house. I walked out of the house and walked to my truck. I'd already spoke with law enforcement. They wanted to go, and I didn't want to deal with that. I don't know how a person can be so negative straight off the bat and jumping to the worst conclusion of all.
So the first contact you have outside of the phone call that got you there with him, the second contact that you have is you open the door, he walks in, and he asks you a question or makes the comment, what are you going to do if this goes south? Something to that effect.
Yeah.
And you said what exactly again?
Oh, I didn't say anything. I walked out. I just walked out. I wasn't going to respond to such. I wasn't going to respond to that. That just caught me off guard, and instantly I was aggravated because he's my son. How are you going to sit there and even breach that subject? Hasn't been first 48 hours. I'm hoping that these people are going to be doing their job and we're going to find my son. But you're sitting here already wanting to talk about what if I'm going to do if he's deceased. No parent wants to think about that. No parent. No. I left.
So you've got your son in your mind missing, and he's got your son potentially deceased.
Yeah. Dude.
And that do you think he was pushing your button?
Don't know what he was doing. I
Did he
just
say
know-
anything else?
No, because I was out of the house.
So you left. How did Katie react when that went down?
Katie was in the living room. I was at the front door where
Okay.
I just opened it. So
So you don't know if she heard it
I
or
don't
not.
know if she heard it or not.
Were law enforcement around you?
No,
All right. Were they in the house at that time?
there was still a guy sitting at the dining room table.
And who was that guy?
I don't remember his name, and I don't think I've ever seen him again.
Okay. And so that was that moment. And then later on, there's another time where now you're back at the house. He let you in the second time now? You instead of you letting him in. Huh?
Tuesday.
Okay. When you go in, is there an interaction there at the door again, or how's this relationship evolving during all the stress?
He was there. I said good morning, walked in, see what the situation was. Katie, she's still crying and upset.
What about Chris?
Doesn't seem to be too upset about anything.
Help me understand that. What do you mean?
It's like he seems more aggravated or irritated than anything else.
Like by what gave you that indication? Meaning, help me understand. Is it his behavior? Is it his
Body language, behavior,
Body-
facial expressions.
Okay, like
just
what was his what tipped you off to that internally to where you make that assessment? What were you looking at?
I was looking at everything. I mean, it's just previously 12 years of being a security officer in the public, and you're not law enforcement. Okay. You're pretty much your own person. You got to be able to watch and see things that might lead to a situation. So you watch how people shift their feet. You watch how people are their hands going in their pockets? Are they sitting there fiddling with their hand? Do they always have something in their hand right now? When they're speaking, are their eyes creasing? I mean, are their eyebrows going up? Is their lip twitching? You read the body language when somebody talks so that if you're talking to somebody and they're aggravated and they're 3 feet away from you, gun is not going to help you. It's going to be hand to hand at this point in time, because that's close combat, and it's just, you have to watch that sort of stuff. So I spent most of the time when I was there until Wednesday, because I was only there until Wednesday after the big blow up, and I was just watching people's body language. Nobody really wanted to talk to me. I really didn't want to talk to them because I was already uneasy. I'm uneasy in their house to begin with because it's their house. I don't really want to be in their house. I have nothing to do with these two. The only reason I'm here is for my son. When she asked for a divorce, I said, okay. Only thing I care about is my son. Fought tooth and nail to make sure I could have joint legal, and now he's missing. And the last people around him, the last person around him is in this house. I'm going to watch them. And, she was sitting on the on the couch, rocking back and forth with a blanket around her. I mean, that was the second day and the third day. I'm sitting here going, what can we do? Can we get flyers out? Law enforcement already told us not to be doing any interviews, to let them handle the interviews why, they're doing this. So I've already gotten direction from the governing law enforcement. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to tell you that I'm not allowed to go search for my son, but you're telling me, you're giving me a direct order of not speaking to the press. Well, that's great because that's normal. That's normal for my profession. We don't talk. You want to talk, you contact, you know, HR, speak to the, you know, the media part. Even when you're doing security, you don't talk to media. Cameras are a bad thing.
So what's the tension in the room?
I felt like an outsider and it felt pretty tense. But that's me because I'm uncomfortable in the house. I'm uncomfortable, which means I'm probably giving off the air of being uncomfortable. You know, when I'm sitting at the edge of the couch, you know, just watching people, or I'm sitting at the dining room table, I'm watching everybody. I'm listening to see what information is coming in. And then I'm gone. And I go to the command center and I'm looking at their maps where they've been searching so I know where I need to go search, which is anywhere that they have it.
What's your assessment of how Chris and Katie are reacting? I know you have her on the couch with a blanket for a couple of days, rocking back and forth, but is that normal behavior?
That's to me, it's not normal behavior.
Okay. So what's the baseline for me to understand why that's abnormal?
It's abnormal from my point of view because I'm going to go. My son is missing. Why would I be, you know, on a couch not doing anything? But I'm not. I'm not a mom. I'm a dad. So my reaction is going to be obviously different than anybody else's reaction. And I don't know. I don't know what she's doing. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how we can get the word out that Sebastian's missing. You know, Facebook, however we can do it. Is there any tips coming in through Facebook? Because Katie's already been on the Facebook thing and was like, my son is missing. And I'm trying to find out if there's any tips or anything coming in.
And
And
what's Chris doing?
walking around.
Okay. When you say
Walking
walking
around the house.
around, I'm sorry.
Walking around the house.
So he's just like pacing the house or just walking from room to room?
He's pacing back and forth, kitchen,
Is he,
living room,
is he
dining
saying
room.
anything? Is he
Not really
talking to
saying,
anybody? Huh?
not really saying much.
Okay, saying so he what was he saying when he was saying something? If you remember.
I don't remember. B, but he was having conversations with his wife. He was having conversations with his mom and dad. I do remember one conversation that happened at the dining room table, but it had nothing to do with Sebastian.
What was that conversation?
About their next vacation and what jewelry what jewelry his mom was telling him that she wanted. I thought it was pretty, again, it's not a conversation you would have around a father and a mother that's child is missing. But then again, when the mother pops up and states that she wants a bigger ring, she's involved in the conversation too. And I'm sitting here like, you guys have no sense of urgency about a missing child.
And Katie's overhearing this conversation as well, because you're only getting half of the conversation, or is the mother and father?
No, Katie's involved in that conversation.
Katie's involved in the conversation.
Yeah.
So walk me through that.
They're sitting at the at the dining room table talking about the next vacation and what jewelry she wants.
Where were they going?
What is it? Puerto Rico, Jamaica, or some Virgin Island area? Like, I've never been there. I'm glad that y'all can go down there and buy jewelry and stuff. But I'd like to know where my son is.
So was that detective still at the table?
No.
Where did he go?
He's already left for the day.
So you're there and you're overhearing a conversation about planning for a vacation potentially down in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And the conversation shifts towards purchasing of jewelry of some sort.
Yeah.
Was this on the phone or was the mother and father there by this time?
Mother and stepfather were there too.
They were present.
Yeah, they were all sitting at the dining room table.
So you're odd man out.
I am definitely odd man out. Not interested in going to the Caribbean. I'm interested in finding my son and why he's missing. And these people are sitting here having a conversation about their next vacation and what jewelry they're going to go buy. I'm definitely the odd man out.
What else was happening?
That was pretty much it. After that, when that happened, I got up and walked out of the house. I'm angry. I mean, I am beyond belief angry, and I'm not an idiot. If I'm in a situation where I know that I'm angry, I'm going to walk away because getting angry is not going to be worth the consequences of it.
So at any time, does the mother of Chris say, Seth, how are you doing?
No,
How about the father?
no,
Do they ask you, Seth, do you know what happened to Sebastian? Is there any conversation with you?
they said
about,
hi. They said hi because I was outside. I was outside when they showed up.
so they walked in or walked past you and said hi?
Yeah, when they pulled
Okay.
in.
And then at some
I
point,
waved at them and said hi, and they said hi, and then they went inside.
you went inside.
Yeah, I was outside smoking a cigarette, and then
Okay.
I went inside.
And when you got inside, everybody was at the dining room table?
They weren't all sitting at the dining room table yet, but they were having a conversation I wasn't privy to because wasn't in there. But when I walked in, I sat down at the table and just started listening again to see what was going on.
And what did you hear then?
Well, I heard a person say that the reason somebody was aggravated is they didn't have their medication. They left it in Mississippi in the RV. And then that person turned around, and I'm told not to say names, by the way, by my attorney. My attorney
Okay.
is Linda. But that person contacted, a doctor, pharmacist, and asked for a prescription for somebody else and stated that they would come pick it up here in a few minutes.
All right. So there's a conversation about somebody needing medication in Mississippi.
No, he left his medication in Mississippi. So
some person left medication in Mississippi.
And he needed his medication there because he was in Hendersonville.
And what kind of medications do we know about these things? Do we know?
Not really too sure, but I'm pretty sure that medication that without you start to get angry and everything about.
Be careful there.
So it's basically for anger management.
From my understanding,
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but
be careful.
From my understanding, it was testosterone. So I don't,
Okay. Go figure. Okay, so there's that conversation. What other conversations are taking place while you're present in the house? While you're thinking, where's my son? And you've already had the conversation with, well, if this thing goes south, how are you supposed to respond to that, you think?
Hindsight's 2020. And sure. I think he was trying to get a response from me so that way, if I acted out or whatnot, then he could have me not at the house. Because Wednesday comes around and you can tell that he's aggravated that I'm back at the house. I mean, it's not, he's not even trying to hide it anymore. He's literally trying to pick a fight about anything that is said or whatnot. And he ends up picking the fight.
Walk me through that.
There was a conversation that had taken place that about a GoFundMe, and law enforcement was like that, told them it'd be a bad look. And my sister called me and said, "Hey, I'm going to set you up a GoFundMe." And I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Well, are you going to go back to work until Sebastian is found?" I was like, "I'm going to try to find my son, you know?" And she was like, "Your bills and stuff are going to continue to go." And she turned around and I was like, "Under no circumstances do you sit there and state that it's for anything regarding Sebastian, because you're setting this up in my name to pay for my bills and stuff. So you need to make sure that it's, it states what it needs to state. Don't be, it's not a reward for Sebastian or anything else."
Okay.
And she set one up and it just set Christopher off. And then he said a few choice words about my sister. He said a few choice words about my mom. And I was like, "Well, I think I'm leaving now, because if you continue, I'm going to do something stupid."
I'm glad you didn't do something stupid.
I try not to do anything that's going to cause me to go live where I work, because then I definitely wouldn't be working there no more. My son means.
So what did he say about your son or your sister and your mom?
It was vulgar, and I prefer not to repeat it.
Okay. I respect that. It's a family show as a whole. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, where would you put it?
It was uncalled for. So, 7, 8.
And how
And
did he?
he also wanted to throw in there that if your sister has a problem with it, she can talk to my attorney. I'll sue her.
Okay.
I mean, when you're threatening legal action against somebody that's not there, and you're using vulgar language to describe my sister, and you're directing it at me, it's an extreme hostile situation. I'm leaving.
Over a GoFundMe account?
Over a GoFundMe. That's okay, because that cost me, having to go to court too. So
I mean, that turned into a legal matter?
when somebody tries to sue you a year later for the exact amount that the GoFundMe was, and it's all because I supposedly threatened Mr. Proudfoot. Yeah, that happened here in Montgomery County.
And what was the disposition of that?
Went to court twice before the person, because it was a civil case, turned around, and that individual asked the judge if she could drop the case, and the judge was like, "Yes, you can."
So the disposition of it never went any further than
Taking me away from what I was doing to try to find my son and pulling me into court.
okay. And the disposition now it's been dismissed?
No, the person is still at it. Now they're asking for a federal protection order.
Okay. On what grounds?
I guess I cyber stalk her, and I've threatened Mr. Proudfoot.
Okay. And so let's go back to you're in the house. This other conversation now goes off here on the GoFundMe. What happens then?
I left the house. Went and got in my truck, and by then my mom and dad had showed up in their RV, and I went over to where they were staying.
So your parents are on scene now.
Yes.
And how are they acting?
My mom and dad, the first day that they got there, after they set up and found a place for the RV, They turned around and printed out flyers and went and hit the homeless camps.
And what are the authorities doing? Did they interview your parents?
No.
Did the authorities interview the other parents?
I don't know.
Did the authorities interview Chris and Katie separately or together?
They interviewed all three of us together. I do know that TBI did take Katie to go take a polygraph.
Do you know the disposition of that polygraph?
I know what law enforcement will always tell you. You passed.
Okay. Did she pass?
They said that she passed.
Okay. How about the other one?
I was informed, my mom supposedly was informed that he took a polygraph and that he passed.
Okay. So
I don't care. It's an investigational tool, and I'm not the one asking the questions, and I didn't see the results, so it's not an investigational tool to me.
Okay. And did you take a poly?
Nancy Grace asked me if I would take a polygraph, and I did.
And did you pass?
Yes, the gentleman said I passed the polygraph.
So everybody has passed a polygraph.
Correct.
All right.
That law enforcement has told us that they have passed the polygraph. And the gentleman that did my polygraph for Nancy Grace told Nancy Grace that I passed.
All right. So then walk us through now where all of a sudden you learn about some information from Child Protective Services.
I was watching YouTube, and Chris was on panel with a YouTube creator and proceeded to talk about CPS visiting the house. And he stated that it was the same lady as the last time, which meant that CPS had been in the house more than once. And when I heard that information, I reached out to my attorney and had them reach out to DCS to get the records. Because when I contacted them, they told me I had to fill out information and submit it. And then after I did that, they turned around and emailed me and told me that the records were sealed and I would need to get an attorney to get them.
And
so
did you do that?
I did.
All right. And what did you find out?
That they had him up for Title IV. DCS did.
What's that?
Non-custodial care or foster home.
So was the state of Tennessee Department of Child Services about ready to take your son out of that home? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. And then they closed the case for some reason. And then he went missing.
And why did they close the case? Do we know?
Nope.
All right. And how long of a track record here up until before the case was closed do those records show that they were investigating the welfare of your child?
2022.
Since 2022. And he goes missing, obviously, in 2024. So for 2 years. And do you have those records?
I do.
And those records, what do they show? A pattern of, if anything?
I'm not DCS. DCS contacted my attorney after I got him and advised that I'm not allowed to talk about them.
Okay.
So what I can talk about is in the filings that we just filed. The two lawsuits.
Let's talk about that. Talk about that.
And
can you
it
tell us?
states in there that Sebastian was scared of his stepfather, and the only place he felt safe was at my house.
All right.
And there was multiple reports. One of them, one of the DCS people in their report, in their notes, stated that they overheard Christopher Proudfoot stating that he hated my son and he wished he would die. And the DCS put that in the report from what they heard from the neighbor.
So is this in the Department of Child Services reports
Yes.
that you have read?
Yes.
All right. What else?
It's really the only few things that I can talk about the DCS reports. I
Okay.
mean, they had him up for non-custodial, which I'm non-custodial, and or foster care, and seeing how they hadn't even contacted me at all. It kind of makes me wonder what they were going to do with my son. And then they closed it, and I was never made aware. And there was a lot of other organizations involved with it, including Sumner County Sheriff's Office were involved with the DCS reports.
Do they have records on file through the CAD system of calls for service in relationship to Sebastian?
Can't get any of that information.
They won't release it, or you can't get it?
I can't get it.
Is your attorney seeking that information?
I would probably assume that he is, but I don't want to. That's his wheelhouse.
Got it. Anything else from the Tennessee Department of Child Services? So for two years prior,
They opened up the case again because he went missing.
so post him vanishing, there is an open case now, open again, one more time. Two of them.
Two of them that I can talk about.
Okay. Tell us about those.
No, I mean, I've already told you what I could talk to you about.
Okay.
I'm really, because it's in the filing, it's public record, but anything else on the DCS reports, the state has already threatened me. They threatened me with
understand. Yeah,
they,
well,
I
I don't want to be involved in that as well. So I
get
get
either.
it.
I don't want to be involved in it either.
Okay, so what you can talk about based on the federal lawsuits is what you already mentioned, because you have copies of those reports, and those are fair and accurate depictions of the information that you've read. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they were used in the filing because it's their own reports.
Okay, so looking back at the earliest hours and the days of this investigation, what specific actions or decisions do you feel most hindered the chance of finding Sebastian quickly?
Not being made aware of what was going on before he went missing. DCS not contacting me. Sumner County not contacting me. I mean, he's reported missing. There's law enforcement already at the house by the time I get there. Why is it that nobody bothered to call my work? You know, you
Hey guys, welcome in. Welcome in. Hey Doug, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Just watching this interview with Chris McDonough in the interview room. Most people here are familiar with it. Chris and Karen McDonough have great shows. If you haven't done so already, give them a like, follow, go over there and share out their video. You can share out my video too as well if you want to. Just trying to get the word out there, try to help when we can. I'm trying to get my feet a little bit more. I've dipped my toe in the water, trying to get my feet a little bit more wet. I don't think I'm going to do any panel or anything like that tonight, but maybe later on we can do a little more in-depth panel, interview, discussion, that type of thing. If you guys are interested in that, maybe could grab some things together and present it up on the stage when you come up on the panel to help me better understand the case, help other folks better understand the case. Be greatly appreciated. So I just wanted to watch this interview and get just a little further into this case tonight. So thank everybody for being here. I do appreciate it. Good to see everybody. I'm going to go ahead and hit play again, and we'll get back in the interview room. Chris McDonough interviewing Seth Rogers.
Your child goes missing, and you're not married to his father. Wouldn't you want to reach out and see if I came and got him or something? But yet Chris 911's me because they know I'm at work. Well, I'm at work, so why hasn't Sumner County contacted my captain at Davison County? Where is the mutual respect for law enforcement here? My son's missing, and yet y'all never even contacted me.
And what's
You've had many meetings about my son and DCS, and yet you guys have never reached out and spoken to me.
so, which leads me to my next question. Because of the lack of communication with investigators and, quite frankly, the investigation as a whole, how's that affected your ability to search for your son?
I don't know if they're still searching for my son. I don't know if I get a tip in, if they've already done the tip, if they've already researched the tip. I don't even know if they're tracking down the tips. I've had tips in other states, in Kentucky and so on and so forth, and I've contacted Sumner County, and then after I let them know, then I make my own trip up there, and I speak to people at the sheriff's or the police department, and I tell them about my son, and they have no idea who my son is. But yet I've already let Sumner County know, so why haven't they been on the phone reaching up here to talk to a law enforcement agency? I had a sighting of Sebastian in Kentucky. Kid looked like Sebastian, was living in a tent, and there was empty I'm trying to remember Vienna sausages. Sebastian likes Vienna sausages, and there's empty cans of Vienna sausages around this tent. Well, I hadn't told anybody that he liked Vienna sausage, but there's somebody that looks like Sebastian living in the corner of this guy's property in a tent, and there's Vienna sausage cans everywhere. And I tell Sumner County, and they never go up there. They never go to investigate.
Did they send the FBI or TBI?
No, I literally had to have my PI go up there because, people were asking me just drive up there. Well, I don't want to drive up there and be collecting evidence. I don't want to be anywhere near evidence.
Right.
Because fruit of the forbidden tree, not to mention the last thing I want is them to go, well, you got your DNA on this can and your son's DNA is on this can. And I'm trying to keep myself away from anything so that it could still be possibly used for whatever law enforcement needs to use it for.
So they basically they have you frozen internally.
Yeah.
To react. You've got one side of the coin where people want to file lawsuits against you. You have the Department of Child Protective Services saying, we're not telling you anything. And when you find out, now they tell you. Now they tell you you can't say anything or you're going to jail. And then, so that kind of moved you into a position where you file a federal lawsuit. Is that correct?
Yes.
To kind of grease the wheels to kind of get information flowing again.
Won't give me any information, then I'll do whatever is I can legally to see what I can do.
And that's why you reached out to me and asked, hey, can I come on your program here to talk about my son and put the word out there?
Yeah,
you're not here accusing anybody that I can tell. Hey, I think
if I want to know what happened to my son, I got to find my son because he can tell us exactly what happened.
Right. Because you believe and still think he's alive and or lost, and you want to find your boy. I get it. I get it. And by the way, I don't know if you completely knew, but, for the record, this is my son.
My condolences, sir.
So I feel your pain 10,000%. In a couple of weeks, it'll be the anniversary of his passing. And it is the jacket nobody wants to wear in their life. My son was 20 years old when he passed away. And so I understand your frustration. And that's one of the reasons why I do this channel, and Karen and I do this channel, is because I understand the shoes that you're walking in right now. But I don't go ahead, pal. And it's okay.
I'm scared of having to do that. That's why I don't want to think about it. Like I said, my condolences. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I didn't want to upset. I didn't show you to upset you, that picture. But I wanted you to know that
it's right here though. It's always I see everybody. They're like I read chats sometimes, and people in other chats and stuff. They're like, I see people and they're heartless. They're like, I don't think he's alive. Well, there's nothing that says that he's deceased. So I have to literally let God have it and pray that he keeps him safe and just stay the course to find my son.
And that's right. And the universe is on schedule, and God's hand is in all things that we do. Don't forget that.
He's all around us. He hears us when we speak to him.
Okay.
But it's on God's time, not our time.
It is on his time. Exactly. It is his timing. And what that means, you won't make any sense of it, my friend, ever. All right. So I will tell you this: if you want to throw rocks at 3:00 in the morning, like you have many times called me, you just call me, and I'll pick up the phone.
When I texted you, I didn't even realize what time it is. People ask me what my sleep schedule is. And it's like, my sleep schedule is a missing child sleep schedule.
Seth, right? I don't care. You know what? If you feel so moved, then I feel honored. I will never, ever get tired of talking about Sebastian, ever. And if you want to talk about him at 3 a.m, I'm your friend. It's not a problem. Okay? It's not a problem. But I wanted you to recognize in totality that I come at this from authenticity. And that's why I'm on YouTube. One of the reasons I'm here. A lot of people don't know, and I don't blast it off to a lot of things and a lot of people. And we both get hate, right? Haters are going to hate, but that's okay.
I remember the day when if it wasn't for haters, I wouldn't have fans, and but it's, I don't know.
The Lord moves in many, many ways. And sometimes we don't understand it. I certainly don't. And I certainly won't try. But I can tell.
understand.
No, it doesn't. But with his autism, right, and other conditions, that makes him particularly vulnerable as a whole. Okay, and how do those factors? How have they been shaping the way you and how you want others to approach him or look for him? You know, with your belief system that he's out there.
If you see him, you got to say his name. Say his name. If you think it's Sebastian, say his name. Say Sebastian. You know, if obviously if it is, he's going to turn around and look at you, and then you get a full facial, identification, and then you'd be like, "Hey, have you talked to your dad?" You know, depending on the response you get, call 911. If he turns around and someone's, no, you got to go do this. Obviously, that's probably, call 911 and tell them, listen, I think I just saw Sebastian Rogers. He's on the FBI's kidnapping and most wanted missing list. You know, right here at this address. I just saw him like 3 minutes ago. I said his name. He turned around and looked, and somebody, something. I need people. I need people to look for my son. I need people to help me find him.
And you tell everybody about your YouTube channel and any way that they can help. How can they connect with you one on one? I know there's a lot of great YouTube channels out there. I mean, I can't praise these other channels enough. On the Mob Crew. I mean that guy is amazing. His name is Chris too, I think.
I have his phone number too.
He's a good guy, and they've got there and others. And forgive me if I'm not mentioning all of them. I don't. I just want to let everybody know that there's more than one resources that are helping you, and that you can use the help all you can. I'm hoping that the public right now, the message to the public is clear. This young man has been missing for 2.5 years. What message do you want the public to hear specifically from you as dad? What do you want them to hear, and what would you want to say to Sebastian directly if he's listening even tonight?
Son, I love you. I just need you to call me, and I will, whatever it takes, I will get there to get you. If I have to call in, a 15-man squad, I will do it.
What do you want to say to?
Only thing the only thing I want in this life, and the only thing I need is, I need people to help me find my son. I need people to hand out flyers. I need people to talk about him. When you're handing out flyers, I mean, talk about my son's smile. It's the first thing you see. He loves animals. He's not one of those type of people that would hurt an animal. You know, he's 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 the sun coming up in the morning. I mean, he's the brightness in a day. He's my life. He's my grace, and I need him back. I need him found. I need to know that he's okay.
What do you want to ask the authorities tonight?
Talking about Sumner County,
Anybody?
I'd ask the authorities to do the same thing. Keep an eye out for my son. You might be driving down the road and, swinging into McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, and, maybe he's there. He could be anywhere. I don't know where he's at. I don't know if he's in a facility. I don't know if somebody has him at home. I just know he's not where he's supposed to be. And he's supposed to be, here in high school, getting ready to graduate.
Wow.
Today's Wednesday. Wednesdays are D&D days. Right now, we should be playing D&D for the next, 2 hours.
Okay, don't lose hope. So looking ahead, what meaningful progress or renewed energy or urgency from law enforcement do you want them to do? What do you want them as his biological father out here advocating for his recovery?
I would like for them
do?
to at least hold a press conference with my son's picture in it. Let the people know what the missing child looks like.
Right.
Tell me why you let it get to this point. Because they were there before he went missing. They failed my son. They failed my son. The county failed my son. The state has failed my son. I have no faith. I have no faith in them. I have no faith that they're going to do their job. I continue to speak with the FBI, and the FBI works with me. So please, Tibbs, call into FBI. If you don't want to talk to the FBI, or call it into National Missing and Exploited Children, because I speak with them too. I'm on the phone with the case manager every week or every other week to find out if there's any updates, any new tips, anything that's coming in.
Is there anything I haven't asked you or that we haven't discussed that you feel is important that
Sebastian,
we should have said?
if you see this, if you get to watch this, understand that I am looking for you. I have not stopped. I don't know where you're at, and I'm coming to find you. And I won't stop until I do find you, son. And I'll move Earth. I will move Earth to get to you.
That I believe. I believe 1,000%. All right, we're going to do this. I'm going to make a commitment to you that I'm going to stay on this from this platform, and you and I are going to work through this, whatever that means. I know a lot of people don't know, but we have talked many times behind the scenes. You've called, you've asked, from the Cold Case Foundation for, advice and help. And we've had a lot of, not a whole bunch, but we've had enough conversations to say, I think I've told you a couple of times, just stay the course right now. Let it kind of take its course. And you have.
It's the only course.
I know.
Any other course is to give up. And I'm not that type of person to give up.
No,
I can't. God didn't make me to give up. God made me to succeed in his name.
Yeah, you're a bulldog. There's no question about it. And that's what I love about your personality. But don't lose faith. There's, I always share that story of the man that was asked to go into the canyon. And this story has helped me get through dark times. And he gets to the edge of the canyon and he sees on both sides sheer cliffs. And he's scared. He's confused. He's lost. And so he gets on his knees and he says, Lord, I have this impression you want me to go into this dark canyon. And I don't know how to do this. I need your help. And while he's standing there, he has this feeling to kneel. And as he kneels down, this angel appears to him and says, the Lord has heard your prayer. I'm here to help you. Just go ahead and walk into the canyon. And so he starts walking and he gets into the canyon halfway. And there's a gigantic boulder from one end of the cliff to the other end, sheer side to side, extremely high. And he stops and he's confused again. And he kneels again and he said, Lord, you told me to start walking. I've obeyed. And that same angel appears and says, I have a message. The Lord has seen your walk. Now he's going to ask you to push. And the angel leaves. So the man starts pushing on the rock, this boulder. A month goes by, 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. And he's exhausted mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. He's exhausted. And he drops this time from exhaustion. And he yells out, Lord, I need your help. And that same angel appears and says, I'm here to help you on behalf of one who loves you. Let me see your arms. And he shows him these biceps. He says, let me see your back. And he shows him these, that he's chiseled. And then he points. Do you see that divot in the rock? He says, yes. He said, put your foot in it. Do you see that? He says, yes. Grab it. And next thing you know it, he's climbing on top of the rock. And he drops from exhaustion again. But this time, the Savior appears. And he says, well done, thy good and faithful servant. I asked you to push the rock. I did not tell you to move it. That is my job. That's how God deals with us sometimes. We're asked to push rocks that are well beyond our capacity, but we don't understand the strength that's being built underneath it. And I know that the Lord will guide you and direct you. No matter what that means, he will. I can assure you of that. That's what he does. How he does it, I haven't figured it out, man. But I know it happens.
Well, he's the one that knows what he's doing. We're just here trying to do what he asks us to do.
He'll guide you or whoever needs to be guided to Sebastian. And that person, if any persons are involved in any way, shape, or form, he already knows. And, remember, he sees things before, as they're happening, and after already. So that's already been determined in relationship to how he views the universe being on schedule. So you just keep pushing, and I guarantee you at some point that rock will be moved, but he'll do that. So will you come back? If I ask you, will you come back in and we'll pick up this conversation? Because I think there's going to be progress coming. Yeah. I really do. Okay.
I'm willing to talk about my son until I find him, and then after I find him, I'm kind of I've been done with YouTube, but after I find him, I got right now I'm working at almost 3 years trying to catch up on time. I'll never catch up on it, but I want to.
You have a lot of love. You have a lot of love out there, Seth. A lot of people really care about you and your son, and so just remember that. Don't let it get you to the place where you don't realize how much love you have out there for you, okay, and your family. I appreciate that, sir. All right, bud. So just call at any time or text. I'll fire one off at you, and I appreciate always your patience, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, bud. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to wrap it up at this end.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. All right, have a great night. Wow. What about you guys? Holy cow. Man. I see there's a lot of messages and stuff over here, but would it be okay if I thank you all for just being here and just everything that you've put out here tonight? Let's see here. Let me go see if I can pull the major questions up. And thank you guys so much for being here to support him and his family. There's just so much. You can see the weight that he's carrying. Nobody has reached out other than Seth to the Cold Case Foundation, and we I don't know. I have to talk to some people, but there's not much we can do right now with what's taking place on the other side with the authorities and stuff. But that man is a good man, and he needs your support. So anyway, the only thing we ever ask again here at this channel for interviews like this, thank you so much for your patience and your understanding, for sure. I know there was a lot going on today with the shooting in Pima County. I saw that. I also reached out to some of my sources, and they said it's not related in any way, shape, or form to Nancy Guthrie. So I didn't even cover it because I knew it wasn't going to go down that way. But that said, thank you again for being here tonight. Continue to pray for one another, for all of our first responders out there, and of course, our military, our doctors, our nurses, all of those that take care of in service positions. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And I'll run a couple extra songs and make sure that I put your chats and stuff up as we're going through this evening. But continue to take care of each other and keep him in your prayers, and keep Sebastian in your prayers. Aloha, everybody. Biakamai. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts. Wish we could fly away.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Just going to try to keep this, excuse me, keep this about Sebastian and Seth tonight. I'm not going to really try to follow that at all. I think you've seen the man's heartbreak. I think you see his burden. He's asking the Lord to help. He's asking us to help. He's asking anybody to help him find his son. See coming across the screen right there on the ticker, strolling across the bottom, is the link to print out flyers. If you're watching now, or if you're watching a replay for this video right here, I'm just asking no donations to the channel or anything, that you would just have these flyers right here printed out and pass out as many as you can, far and wide, please. Do that to help him out. If you guys don't mind, I truly appreciate it. We just got done watching the interview room with Chris McDonough and Sebastian's dad, Seth Rogers. I'll put that up on the screen right there. It's also in the chat. You can just click on it, download that link right there, and then print those flyers out and share, please. Also, right there is the link to read about Sebastian's Law. There's Seth's YouTube channel. And then all credit for the video and the interview we watched tonight. There's the interview room with Chris and Karen McDonough. Go over and subscribe to them. Give them a like. Share out the video, please. Get out the word. Guarantee you that it will be appreciated. Seth's son. That's the flyer that you will be printing out and handing out. Greatly appreciate y'all doing that. Thank you. Don't have a lot to add to it tonight. I'm not going to bring a panel up tonight. Like I said, I want to keep this solely focused on the goal at hand, and that's to bring Sebastian home to his dad. His dad is tired. His dad is praying. His dad is begging and pleading for help. I don't think I could put it in words any better than he did himself. You saw his pain. If you watched the whole video, if you didn't, please go back and watch it. Watch it at the interview room. You can rewind it here and watch it. Just try to help the man out, guys, please. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. I may start another stream later with a different topic, maybe. I'm not sure about that yet. But y'all guys keep your bell on. You'll know if I go live or not. This one wasn't really planned, but I thought it was the right time. I hadn't actually watched the full interview myself, and I wanted to watch it, bring as many people in as I could, and spread the word. So one last time, guys, on the screen. It's the interview room. Seth's YouTube channel. Sebastian's Law. Printable FBI flyer. Please print those and pass them out far and wide. When you go on vacation, take them with you. Pass them out there too. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Hope everybody's having a great weekend so far, and I hope you have a blessed weekend. For the rest of the weekend that you got left, I know that I'll see you somewhere in somebody's chat or maybe back here. But in the meantime, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.